Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hejin Lee with an update for Bitcoin. I'd like to share with you some of the analysis I have been presenting on a daily basis to my subscribers and the members of Bitcoin Live. Now, this site is dedicated to being as didactic as possible so that newbies to intermediates, even to the experts, can come to the site and identify analysis that can potentially augment their due diligence. That is my objective at Bitcoin Live, and it has been also when I used to present the crypto analysis on Steemit. Nothing really has changed from my objective perspective. The primary count for Bitcoin remains and has been so for me for now several weeks, as I had presented on the Bitcoin Live site, that we are heading for likely a lower low. People have been saying, yes, but Tika said this. Yes, but this person or that analyst said this, that the ETF is almost pretty much guaranteed to be approved, etc., etc. Well, anyone can guess verbally on the sentiment direction, but I think utilizing pattern as well as Elliott wave analysis, at least for me, they are the best tools to be able to measure sentiment. The reason is because sentiment is a reflection of price. And to me, that is a very powerful basis on which technical analysis resides. And if price is a most direct reflection of sentiment, then I think that is a lot more upstream in occurrence than news and events, which are also reflections of sentiment. But to me, in my opinion, and having done this for 20 plus years, since 1997, I feel that news and events are further downstream than price. Nothing is as immediate in reflecting sentiment than price. My primary count has been, still is, has not changed, has been calling for a lower low, approximately somewhere towards the low 5,000s, 5,200 or so. And that will generate a new lower low. And the sequence I'm giving is an A, B, C, the blue ABC. And that ABC shows that both A and B are complete. B consists of an ABC, where the C subwave components must consist of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 subwaves. So that red ABC of B, this A, B, C of blue B, completed classically. Then after B is the C decline. And that C decline must have also 5 waves. C waves cannot have anything else except 5 waves. The only exception is when the C wave is part of a triangle. And if it's part of a triangle, it is a 3, an ABC, usually a zigzag. So if this C wave must have 5 subwaves, then we can count blue 1, 2, 3, and look how nicely blue 3 subdivides, as shown by the whites, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that subdivision completes the blue 3. 4, which cannot overlap with the bottom of 1. 4 is showing it as an A, B, C. I believe a zigzag. If you look, you can visually see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 subwaves for red A. B is labeled as a WXY, sideways, 3 wave-ish looking. And C, in this case, also must have 5 subwaves. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thereby, if blue 4 is complete, and last night's spike and today's disappointment based on what the SEC put out, declining all the ETFs, shows that 5 is underway. Blue 5 is likely underway towards the 5200. Basically, what I'm looking for is a capitulation event. What is a capitulation event? It's the point of fear that just climaxes so that everyone just gets utterly disgusted with Bitcoin and just throws in the towel. And I'm not sure if that's the 5200. But from a Fibonacci perspective, that 5200 is 0.78 of the prior level of decline that we saw. So based on that is how I'm stabbing the mark at 5200. Now, these 5 waves for the blue 5 could look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that should generate the 5th wave down. There is an alternate account as well. Okay? And that alternate account I'll share with you now. I just want to give you a forewarning. The alternate could be a contradiction of the primary. But every good analyst identifies a set of alternate scenarios, rank orders them based on probability assessment, and there are times where the primary and the alternate could be pointing in opposite directions. Understood. However, for the analyst, the primary remains the primary count. And until the primary count gets invalidated, where these 2 purple lines represent a price channel, so that if price exceeds 8,600 or so, this primary count, if it exceeds before reaching 5,200, this primary count is invalidated. But I think lower lows are ahead, but I wanted to also share with you my primary count based on pattern and Elliott waves. So the alternate scenario shows that we have a rounded price formation. And this rounded price formation has the corrective sequences for the left wall on the basin phase, where the price goes sideways. And if price can lift, we still haven't hit a lower low yet. So until then, we have a slight potential for the 1, 2 to finish, and then for the 3 to rise, 4 and 5. And in any pattern, symmetry is important. Height to height, from left to right side of the heights will be important as well. And if this shows potential, we need price to start really ramping right now. It is not as probable nor as likely as the primary sequence. But you have to keep this into your awareness, to keep it into the benefit of doubt, because both pattern and Elliott waves show that the right wall is always built on an impulse sequence. And that's usually exactly what's happening in this wave. The nascent wave 1, 2, and 3 needs to onset, like ASAP, for this to really remain valid. All right, so that is the alternate scenario. Before I go to the next chart, I want to share with you also this Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be posting and holding a group coaching session for Elliott wave analysis. And on Sunday, I will be holding at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time the intermediate class for Elliott wave analysis. The sign-up link can be found on the information section on the bottom of this video. But also, You can use this address as a sign-up link if you have interest. For many of you who used to watch me before I did go private, this is an opportunity that is open to the public. It is also an opportunity to learn more about Bitcoin Live, but I will be spending 1.5 hours in each class in reviewing the fundamental basics of Elliott wave analysis, as well as the application, use of Fibonacci's, impulse motive counts, reactionary wave counts, as well as on the intermediate class, focus on the combination correction labeling as well. So if you have interest, please do take a look at this link and see if this might have interest for you to attend this Saturday or Sunday's Elliott Wave group coaching class. Now, one thing that is very interesting is this. If you remember that this chart is measuring the short contract volume. Before the ramp up in April, the short contract volume was very high, around 40,000. And then the short squeeze happened, and most of us remember that rally. Then there was a smaller short squeeze, but we're getting on the short contract side back to near all-time highs. And I think when price, based on the primary count, goes to 5,200, we will probably hit an all-time high on the short contracts to 43, maybe 44,000, 45,000, 46, I don't know. But it'll hit a peak tone before it gets a short squeeze again. And that short squeeze, I think, will be epic when it does show up. What news or event will arrive to justify that? I have not a clue. On the details of which event will be associated with such an epic short squeeze, I don't know. Now, if that is to happen, I think, though, like I said, we still have 44, 45, maybe a spike peak to 46,000, and then a short squeeze. So we've got probably another month or so to go, time-wise. I also want to share with you the bilateral cast that I had posted and shared in real time with the subscribers at Bitcoin Live. The purple represent buy rungs that have already been filled. There are 6 rungs that have been filled. When this was introduced in the earlier part, the first 3 rungs were sold at around 8,300 or so to give a 24.19% profit. And those were then refilled on the recent decline. And if the price goes to 5,200, I think I've got another couple more rungs to be filled. And this is how I buy. Notice how now, for almost 9 days, I've bought nothing because it has not triggered any of my buy rungs, unfilled buy rungs. And during the class too, I will be showing the excruciating details on how I cast my bilateral, which is so effective as a de-risking strategy because it tries to remove and does very well as much emotion, greed, and fear as possible. So that is my update for Bitcoin, how I see it and what I'm doing about it by using my buy cast lateral. And also, if you are interested, click on the link on the bottom for the sign up and information page on the upcoming Saturday, Sunday. That's this Saturday and Sunday, the 25th and the 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on how you can get all of this information. It'll be an hour-and-a-half class each, and I will be covering in depth and detail Elliott wave principles, applications, as well as exactly on how to cast the bilateral with Q&A. I hope you found this to be helpful. Have a great day.